These are the best heroes in Overwatch competitive right now. Let's do this. D.Va is the best tank. She does the most damage. She's highly mobile. She's incredible. Winston, though, is a close second. Play either of those and you'll be fine. Sojourn, the best hit scan. She can just delete you with her alternate fire. It's just cracked ridiculous. Genji, there's no counters to him, really, so he can just Dragon Blade at will, which is just disgusting. Sombra, if you can play her, is absolutely disgustingly OP. Lucio's probably the best support because he can duel you. He can keep himself alive as well. But when Kiriko's available, she'll definitely be in this list. Alrighty then, let's go into a bit more detail on these specific heroes. So the best tank is D.Va. Now Winston is a close second here, but he's getting beaten out by D.Va's damage. D.Va does an incredible amount of burst damage. Winston, even though he's got his new alternate fire, and the new kind of Winston combo is if you leap onto a target, you're charging up your alternate fire, you hit them with that, and then you melee them, and then you just go about zapping them with your primary fire. You do quite a bit of damage with Winston doing that. However, D.Va is just doing massive damage. Basically, what you can do with D.Va is just repeatedly assassinate the enemy's back line. If they've got a Zen, you can just wipe them out. The gameplay you're seeing here isn't actually comp. It's actually from quick play. But what I've noticed is quick play seems to be fairly close to the level of comp. And the advantage quick play has got is Kiriko's available, so we can see how she plays in the games. And you'll notice Kiriko in some of these clips as we go through. But yeah, you can just dive on them. When Kiriko doesn't have her teleport available, you can just go at her. Yes, you can use Protection Suzu. It keeps her alive for a second, but you can just pretty much keep burning through that and kill her. Zen, you can just eat for breakfast. The other DPS, literally all the DPS. In fact, I did say that Genji doesn't really have a counter. D.Va's kind of the only Genji counter. You slam D.Va into Genji's face, and he doesn't know what to do when he's going to get killed because he's not going to be able to do enough damage, even when he whips out Dragon Blade to deal with the D.Va. And the other thing with D.Va is she is the best peel tank in the game. Now, all peel means is you can just protect somebody on your team. So if your back line's getting harassed and your D.Va, well, you've got your boosters. You can move rapidly towards that target that's being harassed, drop Defense Matrix on them, and just eat all the damage. And even if Defense Matrix ain't available, still fly over there because you're just massive and you'll absorb a lot of damage anyway. But yeah, D.Va, highly mobile. She's an assassin, which is mental. She does incredible amounts of damage, which is honestly, guys, pretty much the case for all of the tanks. If you went and played Orisa, I mean, I've even seen Doomfist getting incredible amounts of damage, and Doomfist the weakest tank in the game right now. But all of the tanks are doing massive amounts of damage, and I guess it makes sense when you reduce the number of tanks to 1 instead of 2, and they super buff the single tank. It makes sense that the tank's kind of doing everything. It's almost like Overwatch 2 is a game of just keep the tank alive and let them, or hopefully they kill the rest of the enemy's DPS, and then we'll just kill the rest of the enemy. Yeah, but D.Va is very, very strong, guys. I would definitely play D.Va. So let's talk about the best DPS. Now, Sojourn is the best hit scan DPS. She's far better than any other hit scan in the game, simply because she's ultra mobile, which really helps in the world of Overwatch 2 where it's 5v5, because you don't ever really want to get isolated, and if you do and you're caught out of position, you're going to pay for it. And you know what? Cassidy pays for this in a massive way because he's literally got zero mobility. This is why he's trashed here. Sojourn is the complete opposite. She can just slide across the floor and then jump and access high ground. She's very, very mobile. But the thing with Sojourn is, while you're spamming your fire into the enemy team, sometimes you might actually eliminate people with this, but it's almost like it doesn't matter what you're doing with your primary fire, provided you're just firing. The only thing that matters with Sojourn is when your alternate fire is charged, so you've got the railgun, is that you just click on a squishy target, because you'll kill them when it's 100% charged, blow their head off, and they're dead. And it's a hit scan weapon, which basically means when you fire it, it hits the area. Well, it hits what you're aiming at instantly. It's like a Widow sniper rifle. That's the way to think about Sojourn. She's just incredibly high damage, in the sense of she can effectively eliminate targets dead quick. Now, another good example for this is Soldier. Like, I really like Soldier, and maybe I prefer Soldier to playing Sojourn. But the thing is, I'll run through games where I'm getting tons and tons of damage, but I'm not getting that many eliminations. Yet I play Sojourn in the next game and I'm picking up tons more eliminations, because you do have that effective elimination potential. Because Sojourn, that's like a merge of Soldier and Sojourn, but Soldier is like chip damage, so he's consistent damage output all the time. And almost in the world of Overwatch 2, it kind of really doesn't matter pumping damage into a tank, because a tank's really not going to die unless the rest of his team's dead. So it's almost like you just ignore the tanks. It's pointless chipping them away, and you just try and kill the back line, or you try and kill the other DPS. But because you don't have that burst damage, it's difficult. I think we've all been there now. Overwatch has been out for what? We're approaching a week of Overwatch. Well, no, 5 days maybe of Overwatch 2 being out, and I think we've all been there where Sojourn just instantly kills us with the railgun. It is so powerful. So definitely, if you're a hit scan player, play Sojourn. Okay, Genji. So I'm trash with Genji. I'm actually trash with Sombra as well. But Genji, what makes him really strong is there's no stuns in Overwatch 2, really. So Genji can just do what he likes. So if Genji, I mean, if he's getting nano-bladed over and over again, it is very difficult to stop that unless everybody focus fires the Genji or tries to control him in some way, or everyone just runs away, which never happens. Genji's dashing in, getting eliminations, dashing to the next target. So his ultimate is the best ultimate in the DPS category by an absolute mile. All you do, it's dead simple, is you ignore the tank and you just go straight into the enemy's backline. You go straight into their DPS and you just start killing them. It's almost like a free I win button. It's very hard to deal with this. As you go up through the ranks, players do tend to focus more on the Genji. And like I said, D.Va is actually a pretty good counter to the Genji because you can just fly at him and start booping him out of the way and, you know, just trying to make him hit you rather than your team. But a good Genji will just ignore you and wreck your team. That's why Genji's so strong. And also, he's got high mobility. So this is the running theme throughout Overwatch 2 at the moment. High mobility and survivability. You just basically... And especially for DPS, if you've got kill potential, it's insane. Okay, Sombra, another DPS that I'm not that great with at all. Like, Genji and Sombra, I think, are my least played DPS heroes. But Sombra is a disgusting hero at the moment. If you come against a good Sombra, you will lose. And this is because of two things. Sombra can abuse the ping system. So if your team are playing with the Sombra, and this has kind of always been the case throughout Overwatch, but if you play with Sombra and Sombra sits there, pings a target, right, like the Zen on the enemy team, and if you're playing Zen into Sombra right now, you're an absolute madman because you're just going to get killed. But she pings the Zen. The other DPS realize, oh yeah, we're about to go on the Zen. You hack the Zen as Sombra, and then you just kill him. And he's dead. And then you just do it to another target and another target. Then you go and spawn camp him, kill him again. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Sombra, again, high mobility with Translocator and with the sprint when she's in Invis. The hack is super, super annoying. And actually, you can abuse this on tanks and just keep hacking the tanks over and over again. And it's super frustrating. Like, if you see a D.Va take off, just hack her so she just lands again. It's like, aha, sorry, you're not taking off D.Va. You can just do all kinds of things, and it is super, super frustrating. But the thing with Sombra is, her damage is so disgusting against all of the other squishy targets, and the fact you can ping highlight... I can't even speak, it's that disgusting. You can ping highlight them for your team. It is like, oh my god, it is so, so powerful. Now, that's not to say that there's other DPS that are not as useful as these heroes, but these are just the best ones in their categories. You could totally play Ashe and click on a load of heads. You could totally play Soldier and get a bunch of good kills. You could play Tracer and get loads of good kills. Hanzo can be effective. The only ones I'd say are probably not great and probably bottom tier are Cassidy and Pharah at the moment. They're not really getting much joy. Everyone else is kind of like okay, but these three are certainly the best at the moment. So let's move on to the best supports. Lucio is a really, really simple and easy one to answer. He has got speed boost, which is great in 5v5. He is very survivable on his own, and he is capable of taking duels, offensively and defensive duels. It also means that if you try and push Lucio, he can disengage because of his speed. It's always been the case. Or he can just try and take you on. Lucio can pretty much duel with a lot of the DPS. Like, they have to be very... it's difficult to kill a Lucio. When he's wall riding, he's moving all over the place. You got to be with it if you're the DPS trying to take him on. So he can actually kind of fight you. So in a lot of ways, even though he's a support, he's almost like another... He's like a little bit of a brawler DPS, like baby mini tank with speed boost. He's really frustrating to play against, but because he's got that high mobility, and obviously his ultimate's great as well, Lucio is just really, really... like, he's really good as a support if you play him in that certain... like, it's almost like if you play the Reddit Lucio style, you get a ton of reward with him. Now, the other support that I would say is the absolute best at the moment is definitely Kiriko. Now, there is a caveat here. She's not available in competitive, but you would have seen throughout this video some clips, especially in the D.Va section, of Kiriko, because that was taken from Quick Play. Although arguably it is the same rule set, because when you play Control in Quick Play, it's the same format as in competitive. Now, Kiriko, she exemplifies the high mobility, self-sustain, like incredibly high damage, high skill ceiling as well. Be under no illusions there. You know, if you're not able to aim with a primary, well, a secondary fire, I guess it's whatever you change it to. A lot of people have been changing the kunai to primary fire because it makes a bit more sense. Put your damage on primary fire, you know, pretty much like Batiste, damage on primary fire, heal on secondary. But Kiriko is just, for all of the reasons I've listed, is very difficult to kill. She's kind of difficult to get used to, but after a couple of games, I think players tend to get used to it. Like, it only took me about 3 or 4 games of Kiriko, and I was like, okay, I get this hero now. I know that I can dive the back line. You know, think of the Sombra example. Sombra pinging targets and Kiriko jumping to Sombra and then just taking that target on, you will win all of the time because Sombra won't die because Kiriko will keep her alive. Kiriko doesn't even need to do damage, but she's that mobile. She can join in that fight and then she can get back out again when a telly is available. So she's very, very strong. And of course, her ultimate is mega powerful. Her ultimate wins a lot of fights in Overwatch 2. The speed boost is great, but it's more to do with the basically the attack speed that you get and the cooldown reduction. Everything is quicker, so you just can rush the enemy and just spamming all of your abilities, doing tons of damage. It's massively powerful. But that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the best heroes in Overwatch 2 competitive right now. There are a bunch of other heroes you could play, especially for support. When I'm saying that these two are the best heroes, obviously Anna is still really strong. Obviously, Baptiste himself is really strong. It's just that what you're looking for is survivability, mobility, and the healing output, basically. You know, you look at the Anna doesn't have high mobility, but she's got sleep, so she can deal with flankers in some ways. She can also nade them as well and just try and do damage to them. Brig doesn't really have massive mobility, but she can move with a shield bash, which she makes up with it with her tankiness. Her Inspire is a great AoE heal, so it's not as cut and dry as like just play these heroes and you'll win. There's loads of heroes that are viable at the moment, and I don't really think there's any bad supports at the moment. Like, I wouldn't go, oh yeah, that support's terrible, never play it. I literally wouldn't really care about my support comp. DPS, obviously, again, if I had a Cassidy, maybe I'll be a little bit worried. If I had a Pharah, I'd be a little bit worried, but still they can kind of work. But yeah, this video's just been about the best heroes at the moment right now, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So D.Va for the tank, definitely D.Va. Sojourn, Genji, Sombra for DPS are all amazing. And for the supports, Lucio, if you've got him in your game, just be chill. Doesn't matter what your other support is, it'll be awesome. And Kiriko, when she's available, will definitely be up there with Lucio's power level, maybe even overtaking him if she can do enough damage, because Lucio, of course, brings a lot of utility with his AoE healing and speed boost. Okay, guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this. I've been Stylosa. You can follow me on everything, which is at Stylosa, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. See you soon.